Hi, and welcome to Own Your Divine Light show. I am Janet Miller, and I invite you to listen to the phenomenal success of Jason Stephenson. Jason is the founder of Relax Me Online in Australia, and he has been involved in meditation and relaxation music field for the past 15 years. In 2017, he became a #1 best-selling author on Amazon with his Success Mastery book that he co-authored with Jack Canfield, the Chicken Soup for the Soul series, and is also a certified Jack Canfield success principal and success principles and trainer. Jason has a YouTube meditation sleep channel that has grown over 1 million subscribers with over 250 million views. Wow. Welcome, Jason.
Hello, Janet. Thank you very much for having me here this morning.
This afternoon. This afternoon for us, and good morning to you. And, your success is amazing, and I know your success with your meditation and relaxation channel. You've grown and expanded into so many other areas because of that. Can you tell us how all of this started? How did your journey start?
Wow, that's a pretty big question there, but probably with a lot of answers. So I'll just go back and narrow it back. I guess I've been involved in meditation. Probably I had my first class when I was 16 years of age, and my mum invited me along.
Ooh.
And at that point, when I was 16, of course, I had no idea what meditation was about. In fact, I thought it was about people that would sit in that lotus position and float off the ground. So I remember going to that meditation class thinking, okay, I'm going to give this a try and maybe I'll be able to, levitate off the ground.
Wow.
Anyway, I enjoyed that meditation class. And although I didn't levitate at that time, I remember coming out with this real sense of peace and thought, wow, that's something. There's something there. And so it wasn't until I think I had a rough patch in my 20s and then going into my 30s. And I was going to see a counselor, and she said, Jason, have you heard of meditation? And I said, well, yes, I have. And so I suggest that you go back to it and try it because it's going to help you. You need something. And so I went back to it. I went to my first retreat, a 10-day monastic retreat in my 30s. And that was a pivotal moment for me. It was a complete full strict monastic retreat with hair shaved off, robes, silence, 2 meals a day.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Surrendered.
Look, it was pretty, and I will tell you, the first 3 days were very difficult for me. But once I settled into it and understood what it was all about and thought, okay, this is what's going on now, I began to get felt this calm that I've never felt in my life. And I knew from that point that meditation was definitely going to be a way to go for me in the future. And so cut back to, 5 years ago when I started the YouTube channel, it was really only there to support a website. I had no idea it was going to grow, no idea in my life it was going to grow as it has grown. And so I feel so blessed to be here talking to you and just in this situation to be able to reach out, and help so many people.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Well, like I said, you totally surrendered to that moment and you said, okay, I'm ready. I'm open. You're obviously ready because that's when what you need appears. And it's just the most beautiful thing to see that you were there. It was, and you accepted it and it all came in for you. And then the path opened up, and now you're in a flow that is unstoppable. And this is a beautiful thing. And, the more you're in it, the more you learn and you can help other people get in it. And I know that you are amazing with helping other people. But I know, all right, so you said the meditations get you to self-healing. And so did you actually start creating your own meditations?
Yes. I decided that when I'd gone, I went right off track and I ended up getting into drugs and alcohol and just absolute disrespect and a very unworthiness, no self-worth for myself. And I guess I took a lot from other people as well. And after doing the meditation, it was a realization that it's time now for me to give back. And so I started creating with it was a CD for children, because I wanted to reach children first.
Wow.
It was called I Believe in Me. And it was songs, affirmations in word and song, plus a guided meditation. And I started selling that on eBay, actually. That's how it all started.
Wow.
And then people were buying it, and someone said, would you make ones for adults? And I thought, never tried that, but why not give it a go? And there it went on from there. It was one after another. Then it just grew. And I think it's my calling, Janet. I think now I know that I'm here to be of service. This is that's all I know, is I'm here to be of service now. And that's service to other people, and that's service to myself as well, of course, having that love for who I am and my self-worth. Yeah.
Yes. Well, your path that led you to where you are, and until you've walked the path, they can't teach others how to overcome that. And you have to walk it to be able to share it with people. That's been my experience as well, because I've also been in a similar path as you. And I've been 26 years alcohol free. So it's amazing how your life just changes. And as long as you're open, I mean, yours skyrocketed. That's pretty phenomenal. And you just allowed it in. And, that says a lot for just who you are. I mean, to be at 16 and your mother bringing you to meditation, that's very unusual. Your mother was awakened to tell you.
Mum has always been a bit switched on and connected to spirituality, even though she wouldn't even admit that. She always has been. Yeah.
Well, I think now of what you're doing, she must be amazed. I mean, she must be like, wow.
Yeah, sometimes she can't believe it. Like when I would tell her it was growing, she'd just going, Jay, she'd say, is that right what you're saying? She said, are you doing everything legal? Is everything? I said, Mum, I said, this is the way life is. This is the way it works. It's okay. I'm doing everything legal. No problems here.
That is so great. And I love that you started with the children's meditation. Isn't that interesting? Because did you feel like children were the most important to reach, to start them young and to?
Oh, absolutely. Because I tracked down that my lack of self-worth stemmed from some of my early days.
Yes.
And so I wanted to reach out to the children and to get them to believe in themselves, that no matter how different they may feel, whatever they feel is okay, and they are beautiful just the way they are. And that was what it was so important for me, because I thought, if I can help one child to believe in themselves and just I am okay, then I've done my job,
Oh, sure. Especially starting so young, because that is the truth. Many people's wounds start when they're young. We all get something, and to be able to help people, children at that age, I mean, that's a calling. That definitely is. So I know you've created your Relax Me Online Australia. So what is the difference between your meditation sleep music channel and your Relax Me? That's the whole.
Yeah, Relax Me Online is basically the company, and that's where it all started from, was selling the MP3s and things from Relax Me Online. That's actually the name of the company now. Right. And the Jason Stephenson meditation sleep music, and that's just, I guess, a branch off of that.
Beautiful. I wanted to be clear, because so when people tune in, they always go to your meditation sleep music channel. That's where it starts. Yeah. But what is mindfulness meditation that you can tell us about? What is that?
This has come up for me probably, that was the part of the monastic retreat, because it was a Buddhist monastic retreat. So it was a lot of mindfulness. That's where I first began to use mindfulness and to recognize the beauty of it and what it's about. And can I share with you a little bit of a thing that happened at the temple there when I was doing that?
Absolutely.
And this is to do with mindfulness. They were giving us jobs, and every day we had a different task to do. And so this particular day, this was early on in the piece, and I was still unsure of what this was all about. And they said, okay, Jason, your job today is to begin to clean the railings of the temple. And now the temple goes on for miles.
Oh, wow.
And I just said, okay. And I said, how long will this take? And they'll say, it'll take as long as it takes. You just begin. And so they handed me a bucket of water and a toothbrush. Oh. And I looked at them and I said, are you serious? Like, you really want this done and you're handing it to, and they said, yes. Oh, wow. And they just said, begin. And the first reaction to me, I thought, this is a joke. Like, seriously, if they want the railings clean, so I fought against it. I wasn't in the moment at all. I was fighting against this. I'm thinking, these guys are crazy. Yeah. But as I began, I thought, oh, well, I'm here, so I might as well begin, and I'll just do it. And what happened was I became into the present moment by cleaning with this little toothbrush into the intricate patterns, and found myself even finding little tiny spiders. They're little, like, called money spiders. And I was getting them out before I would clean, so I wouldn't harm them.
Isn't that beautiful? And
I zoned in, and I became present, probably again for the first time in such a long time. Wow. So it didn't matter. This wasn't the thing about cleaning all the rails. The task was to be present. And that's when I began to understand the power of mindfulness. Wow. And so I'm actually currently just at this stage going through, although I've practiced it in meditation, that's my form of meditation, mindfulness, connecting to the breath and being present. I'm beginning now to solidify this into professional training to teach.
Oh, wonderful.
So I'm currently doing that at the moment. And, mindfulness is beautiful because it just spills over. Yes. And helps in all areas of my life. Even this interview, for instance, of just being present, fully present. Yeah. And I love it. I dearly love it.
It is beautiful. That story is incredible. I got chills while you're telling it. I mean, really, to think of you finding those little spiders and you're literally making sure you don't hurt them and take them out. So how long did it actually take you? Did you ever figure out the timing?
I think they had me going for like 6 hours, and wow. I'd moved about, not far. It was.
So they realized that you had gotten it, maybe?
Yes, absolutely. They come up and said, that's enough now. And I realized. And so they caught on, but they knew very well what was going on. And
yes. That's a profound moment. What a profound learning. I mean, really, it's a huge learning for people, because it really causes you to get into humility and also gratitude. And then of course, the gift is being present. And when you're present, you fully embrace whatever's going on around you. You totally feel all of it. I mean, you're just there. You're like one with the moment.
Yes.
What it's all about, isn't it? It's all about being one with the moment.
And Janet, not fighting. Whatever situation we're in, even if we're in difficult situations, it's doing our best to not fight that, but to embrace what's happening now. And in that, even in that painful moment or that emotional moment and pain, when we just accept it and be open to it, then it can dissipate. It can leave us at its own accord, rather than trying to push it down and push it away.
Oh, absolutely.
That saying, what we resist persists, or something like that.
Oh, yes. I remember that very well. I know that very well. Yes. And, that when you talked about that right now, I'm thinking that's what causes the pain and the suffering in our lives, is when we resist things. If we would all, like we've learned, because when you're in this work, you're learning. I mean, it's a constant journey and it's a constant learning. And you realize that when you resist, it's suffering, and you're causing yourself so much pain. And when you just open to it, like you're saying, it just, you almost have to go into gratitude and just ask the question, what am I learning here? That's the whole thing. What is this teaching me this moment?
Yes.
That's like a profound learning. What is this teaching me? And then gratitude for that teaching. And then you say, wow, now I can and you sort of, then it releases all the pain in your life. It really does. It lets go of so much more stress. And
Yes.
I've learned that, and it's not an easy lesson to learn. It takes a while.
Yeah. There's no way it's easy. And I think, what that does, is when we accept that and just be open to that, that brings also humility to us as well, and
Absolutely. Absolutely.
it can be a real shifting time.
Yes.
That's when things can really shift.
Yes. And that's what helps us move into our beautiful unification as a planet and help raise the vibration, when the consciousness can all be present to the moment and to just embrace whatever's going on at the moment. So many people who talked about the power of now and all those kinds of things. And now you're talking, and now it's mindfulness, which is, they're all similar ideas, and it just seems to be catching on so much more. The people love mindfulness. So it's a beautiful concept to teach people. And congratulate you. It's a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
Yeah. So your book you've written with Jack Canfield and The Soup for the Soul. How did you decide to go that route? And how did you? Yeah.
I will say that was myself and 8 other authors and Jack Canfield. So I just had one chapter in the book with Jack, but it was wonderful, and it was telling my story of the lead up and through the stuff that I went through, but how that we can be, we can be stuck in the victim role, or we can become victorious.
Absolutely.
That's our choice, and it is a choice. And so I submitted it in, and it got selected as one of the chapters in the book. And I got to meet Jack Canfield, which was an absolute honor for me, because I've read so many of these books. I love his work. It was like a dream come true.
Sure. Oh my goodness. Really, yes. He is like a man to just, I read when it came out years ago that everyone was just, it was like a balm to the soul, his books. It was just incredible. And it's still going. I mean, he just keeps coming up with more ways to bring it to people. And you got to be part of that, which is such a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Congratulations. I'm so happy.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it led me on to do the Success Principles training with Jack Canfield, which I'm now a currently registered trainer. But because I loved his book called Success Principles, I read it and I was just so blown away. I was buying people copies, you please read this one, just giving them out. And then when I found out he was, doing the course, I thought, oh my goodness, I must do that. And so I signed up to do that course, and I still keep referring back to it. I love it so much.
Yeah.
So many lessons.
When you have those kind of mentors in your life, it just opens so many more new doors. So you've now combined your meditation business and the mindfulness affirmations. How are you doing that? How are you working all this?
Yeah, I love, as much as I do meditations, I love affirmations and the power of affirmations, because, affirmations help me out as well as the meditation. Affirmations help me out during those dark days as well. And one of my most favorite affirmations is just, living here in vitality. I'm living here in vitality. And every time I say that, I can actually feel the energy. And even yesterday, I was out walking my dog, and it was a beautiful blue sky. And I just stood there, and I mentally repeated to myself, I am. And I just looked up at the clouds. And what I love by that, Janet, is just that we have so much potential and so much power, and we can do whatever it is that we want to choose to do in our lives. And that's what affirmations help me with. And that's how I do my best to help others, is to discover these affirmations. And I slip them into meditations at time. So they might not even be expecting it. And I'm just doing a meditation, and I just say, mentally repeat after me, I am love. I am joy. And when we feel those affirmations as well, even though it might not be how it is at the moment, when we feel them, truly feel them, then we're raising our energy, and then we can attract that into our lives. So yeah, affirmations are beautiful. And can I just say, Janet, too, I remember I first heard about affirmations, I swear, when I was about 8 years old. This teacher, I was on an excursion on the bus, and she said to me, I remember saying, Jason, you can have whatever you want. And I'm like,
Wow.
really? As a kid? And she said, yes, you can. She said, do you know affirmations? And I said, no. And she said, okay, well, if you want this, you can have that. You know, she just say, you just repeat it over and over. And I'm thinking, as an 8-year-old kid, okay, I want money, I want money, I want. I said, well, it didn't work, but I remember that, from that as a child.
You had a teacher already at 8 years old giving you this idea about affirmations. It's like,
yes,
guided on this that person at 8, then your mother at 16. What is that? 16. What's the word 8? The number 8, isn't that? I think it means trust or something. And you just kept following it. And look at that. Every 8 years. What else happened after 16? 8 and 6 is 14. So at 24, you were on the other journey.
That's where I got, things. I was trialing out things. I mean, there's still beautiful parts. I used to do a lot of singing and professional singing, and
really,
it got to take me around the place. I sang in later in life. I ended up singing in Taiwan and Malaysia.
Okay.
It's been and talk about present moment stuff. When we do something we love, no matter what it is, whether it's doing gardening or whether it's playing with children or whatever we're doing, singing. For me, when I was singing, I was in the flow. I was in the zone, the absolute present moment stuff. And so stepping on stage for me back then was like, that was where there was power to share with the audience, because they received me in that moment for who I was. Mm-hmm. And there was no pretense, no falseness. It was like I was singing to each person, one individually. Such a beautiful, I still remember that. I love that. And I'm sure I'll sing again very soon, one day.
You will. I'm getting chills on that, because the voice, and when you learn about what the sound is, the first sound that ever came, the first bringing through the source, do the sound, and bringing that to people, and you're bringing all aspects of yourself, God self or source. I'm not just, but
yes,
it's hard to differentiate that, but it's source, and in those aspects, and which really what this life is all about, isn't it? Bringing in all your God aspects, all the sparks you are, to complete yourself, and to all of us, and to change everything, to change the world, to change our thinking, to into that more of a love vibration, which is what your work totally does. It brings people right into that peace, and then their hearts open. I mean, they can't help it, because even your voice has magic in it. I can feel it. It's like, wow, it's very soothing. And I've heard on your tapes, but I mean, it's just incredible how soothing it is, because there's heart behind it. You can hear it. The heart is right there, and you're fully present with it. It's beautiful. It really is beautiful. So I shouldn't dare ask this question, but what is your favorite meditation? If I ask that, the whole world will want to do it now.
My favorite meditation of my work, you mean? Or
whichever it is. It should be your work, I think, but whatever.
Like I don't listen to my work much, although there was one time where I was going through some rough times, and if ever I go through moments of clinging or self-doubt, there's one of my meditations called the surrender meditation.
Oh, how interesting.
And that is the only one that I really get something from. I love it. So that's the one I recommend.
Okay. I love it. I mean, and that's funny. Yeah, I like the word. Surrender was always a key word for me, because that was the word that told me you have to surrender. Stop the fight. Earlier. Stop the fight. There's no fighting here. Surrender and open up. And then it's like you're coming home. You're coming home to yourself then. Just fully 360 back inside. You go right in. You go right in, which is the home. the home spot. And
Yeah, I got to commend you on, that 26 years of no alcohol. I commend you. I commend you.
well, it feels good, and I'm thrilled, and it is and my life has changed dramatically, and I'm a totally different person, and I love that, and you get to like yourself more and more the more you're clear. I'm clear, and like you're clear.
Mm,
We're clear now,
mm.
and it's just it's not even a thought. It's not even a thought, and people
Good,
can be around me, and I don't even care. It just doesn't attract me. Because I have
good for
plenty
you.
of friends who drink, and I know a lot of people who can't be around people who do that. But for me, it's just, I asked for it to be removed, and really and truly, it was removed. So
Wonderful.
for that, appreciate that very much.
Mm, mm.
So, oh my goodness. So you're also a certified Reiki healer too. So you decided to go there too with the healing. I love that.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
do it for yourself. What do you do?
Yeah, I do it for I don't run a practice or anything. I just wanted to move into that myself. I've only done the Reiki one,
Yep.
got the
Yep.
Reiki one, but the reason why I moved into that before I moved into that, I remember a dog had been run over out the front of our street, and he'd been hit, and he was a stray dog, and and at the time I was broke, I had no money. I was devastated, and he was still okay, but he had a huge gash on his leg. And so he come up, and I'd heard about hands-on healing. I didn't know much about Reiki. And I was living with a girl at the time, and I said, look, do you think I could just try this? I don't know if it'll work, but what can we do, And so the dog was just sitting there, and I just sat with the dog and just put my hands there. And he was just, I don't know what was going on. Okay. It was just through love. I just wanted him
Exactly.
healed.
Exactly.
And you know what? The next morning he was gone. We put him in a basket. He was gone. And I thought, oh my goodness, I don't know what's going to happen.
Mm.
About a week later, I got to see that dog, and his leg was completely healed up,
Wow.
and he's running around. I was like, it's like to my friend, Lee, he's healed. The dog's healed. He's okay. And that was the time when I thought, wow, there's something in all of this. And so I began that Reiki course, and it was such a
Wow.
beautiful thing.
That's a big affirmation that you had that much power, and you just believed, and you said, you know what, I need to help. Because doing it from
Exactly.
the heart, it's always, like you said, it's heart centered. As soon as anything is coming from your heart, it'll work.
Yeah.
And you were just so focused, and you were present. You were doing the mindfulness even then.
Yeah.
Just felt that need to help him. I mean,
Yeah.
wow, that's a great story. I love that.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah. I loved it so much.
I love it. And now I know your meditations are found in Australia in the prisons, and you're also in the United States now. I mean, that's an amazing accomplishment. How did that happen?
That's an amazing thing. Like this, that's so beautiful. I'm so, I'm truly blessed and humbled that people have reached out. First it was the Mule State Prison in California. They reached out and they said, we would like your meditations played across the grounds of the prison with that's over 4,000 prisoners. And they said, would you give us permission? And I wrote back and said, of course I would. I would be absolutely honored, and I'm only too glad that you are doing that
Mm-hmm.
and help those people. And so it was there. Then it was another prison in Australia. The prison system in Australia then wrote to me, and now I've got, I think it's the possibility of a female prisons across USA.
Wow.
So we'll see what happens, but we can all be forgiven, and we've all got a part of us that, and especially if they're in prison, even if they're in prison for life, then they probably need to work on healing themselves and forgiving themselves as well. And so
And heal
forgiveness.
themselves. Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
So beautiful. I mean, that was amazing, and it just shows where people's consciousness is going. That a prison would actually approach you like that and say, "We want to do this for our prisoners." I mean, that's pretty advanced thinking.
Isn't it ever? Yeah, things are really changing.
Inmate and prisoner. It's a woman. She's a medium. Her name is and she did a book about the prisons in Florida, and they weren't like that. They weren't doing any consciousness, anything there. But that was a while ago. That was like 6 or 7 years ago. How many years have your prisons been using your meditations?
Only probably the last 2 years now.
Yeah. Difference in the consciousness. Look at the shift. I mean, you can just look at her story, which was 6 years ago, and now yours 2 years ago. It's already opened up and shifted so much. I mean, that's pretty interesting when you can compare that, you know, because she said it was chaos. It was horrible chaos when she'd walk in, and because of her energy, she got everything relaxed and got it in control. And once she left, then all the prisons broke out in a fight because she wasn't there to, she was there for like 4 years, and they saw such a change. And all the guards that were so rough and tough were nice to her, or reasonably nice, They aren't, it depends where they are, it's a whole different world there. But that's a beautiful, I mean, you're just helping this other level of people that would never have gone there in many ways, and what you're bringing to them. I mean, you're opening up so much to them. You're planting that seed, which you don't know where it'll go. You just don't know. And
I mean, I would love to go in there live and do a session, with the prisoners.
You never know. You could do a lot of meditation and singing, and you could be, a whole new genre of something, because that is a beautiful thought. That really is.
Yeah.
Wow. So what's next, Jason? Do you have anything else going on the horizon for Jason Stephenson?
Well, I think this year for me is a year of replanting the seeds and new growth. And I plan next year to take my show on the road, if you like, and to begin to reach out to people face to face across the world. That's my plan.
Fantastic.
Conducting, little workshops right across the country and across the world.
Oh, that'll be great. I hope you come to the East Coast U.S., because everyone goes to the West Coast.
I know.
Try to work something out.
I know. No,
well, people go to New York. So New York is the big Mecca, and I'm only 2 hours away. So New York is a big calling. Boston is big. I'm in Connecticut, Hartford, so it's a little quieter here. But it's all connected. We're really, the whole corridor. It's a pretty busy place. So
I'd love to go. I will go to the East Coast next time. Let me tell you, I will go.
Thank you. We love it. I'm inviting you, and you can stay at my house if you want to. Whatever you want to do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Plenty of room.
Thank you kindly.
And, so I'm so thrilled. You're such a great mentor for people, and you love helping people. And we talked about that. So what does that do for you when you do that?
What's it do for me? Wow. Here's what it does for me. I think it's like a full circle thing. When I give, and when I truly give from the heart with no expectations of receiving, the receivership comes in. And I'm telling you, the more I'm giving, the more that is coming into my life. And so it's abundance. It's this overflow of love, that the more love I'm giving, the more I'm receiving, and I have to keep giving because it's just so much.
Plus you enjoy it, and plus it feels right, and it
feels right.
And go ahead.
Yeah, and I want to contribute to society. I truly want to leave. I want to leave a legacy. Goodness knows there's a lot of stuff going on that's not so good out there. And so we all need to do what we can to contribute in some way. And when I do that contribution, it damn feels good. It just, instead of taking away, I'm adding to, and that just feels good.
But you're also receiving, which is very important, because you can't give what you don't got, right?
Absolutely. And that's why I think it's really important, that we continue, of course, to work on ourselves all the time, because the more love that we can give ourselves, of course, then the more love we have to to give
Yeah,
to the world.
absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm just going to quickly talk about your group that you were working with, the Conscious Creators. That was a great endeavor, and I've been tuning in whenever I could, but it's been great, you know, listening to all of you share, and a lot of
Oh,
beautiful.
that's been a great this has happened over the January period. It's been so good. It's so good to share with all the people that were all the consciousness creators, the people that were guest presenters,
Yeah.
but also seeing the community that was forming of people that were enjoying it and loving it. And
Mhm.
I was tuning in when I could. I was tuning into the other presenters and learning so much.
Yes.
It was so exciting. I truly loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it.
There was a lot of really, really good stuff. I mean, and it was free, and people, you know, take advantage of it is all I can say. I keep sharing it out to people.
Yes.
It was amazing. It really,
Yes.
you've all given so much, and it's a beautiful group. And
Yeah.
it's just, thank you for doing that, because
Yeah. No, you're welcome. I mean, and Ali O'Shea, you may know
yes,
her. And yeah, she, of course, organized that whole thing and brought us all together. So she did a magnificent job in bringing that together.
yes,
So
yes, and she's
yeah,
on too.
hats off to Ali.
Yeah, she's great, and she's on the show too. So I'm thrilled that, you know, Allie's here too.
Wonderful.
So any insights or wisdom you have to share for people in 2019? What do you think
Mm.
is important for people to be aware of this year? Or what comes to you that you think yeah.
The first thing that come to me was a quote,
Mm-hmm.
and could I speak that?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and it's just this quote, which is how I've led a lot of my life as well. And it says in it, "Come to the edge," he said.
Ah.
They said, "But we are afraid."
Mm.
Come to the edge, he said. They came, he pushed them, and they flew.
Oh, wow. I love it.
And I think that was Apollinaire that wrote that. I'm pretty sure, but that is something. So it's all about, you know, feeling that fear, acknowledging that fear,
Mm-hmm.
but just taking that leap and going with it, and then the fear just will melt away.
Yes, and you're an example of all that. Every step you took was an unknown, but you weren't afraid to go forward. Like even with the toothbrush, you didn't say no. I mean, some people could have just thrown it away and said, "I don't want to do that. I'm not doing it." And you
Yes,
would have lost that whole what you've gotten, what you got from it. But you said, "Okay, I'm here for a reason," and you opened to it. And look at where
yeah,
it's gone. I mean, that's just that small step can lead to so much. I mean, your mom taking you to the mindfulness, you know, to the meditation.
yes,
I mean,
yes.
small steps that you were willing to go, even as a young man, you were always open in so many ways, which is a wonderful thing to have. It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, there was something. There must have been some insight there, or there's something going on. You know.
Yep, you had some guidance along the way. Those are a few angels in your life, and yep,
Yes.
now you're another angel bringing it to the people, and it's a beautiful story. It's a beautiful life you're living. So I know you have a gift that you'd like to tell the audience about. So if you'd like to share.
Yes. I have written an ebook called "The Seven Pathways to Happiness,"
Hmm.
and it's an ebook it's a book that comes from my heart, and it's just what I've learned along the way. 7 tips,
Oh,
just small tips that can help you stage by stage to implement them into your life and to find happiness,
mm,
uh, to embrace that.
yep, it's so
Yeah,
important. Yep, these are
yeah.
things people don't always take time to think about. So
Mm,
that's really a valuable tool. Thank you for
mm.
sharing that with us.
And you're most welcome.
Thank you. So I'd just like to tell our listeners we would love to hear from you. We'd love some feedback on the show. Please let us know how you liked it. Jason would love to hear. I'll definitely be sharing with him. We read everything, so please, you know, come right into us and tell us. And Jason, you are a radiant beacon of generosity. I mean, you really are. Enjoy helping people find alignment and purpose again with your beautiful meditations and your affirmations and so much more that you're doing. And thank you for sharing this and that sharing your divine light and helping people unlock their passions and ignite their authenticity and
Oh,
finally create the lives they love. Thank you
mm.
so much, Jason. So
Oh,
thrilled you were here, and you have such a beautiful message. Totally enjoyed it.
and yeah,
And
thank you so much, Janet, for your time. It's been an absolute honor to have these few moments with you.
thank you. It feels really special. Thank you,
Mm.
Jason. So I am Janet Miller, and I will see you on the next episode.
Goodbye.
Thanks, Jason.